What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my beautiful and very expressive co-host, Josh John Luke. What's up, guys?
What up? I like how I get whatever attribute like Josh gets that for that day. It gets attributed to me as well.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever led with something you're doing. Josh is always the one doing something up there, and you just get lumped in.
Handsome my co-host, my dancing co-host.
Well, that when he says handsome, he means you. That's
yes, of course. When I say
don't
handsome,
lie.
I mean
Don't patronize me, Josh.
Guys,
we both know I'm not the handsome one.
Also joining us today, making her return after an iconic poll perception performance, we've got the fantasy queen bee herself, Bonnie, joining us. For those of you that do not know Bonnie, she's a correspondent and featured writer over at Fantasy Pros, and you can find her on Twitter at Fantasy Queen B. That is the letter B. It is right there below her face on the screen. Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're so glad to have you. For those of you that were not here last time Bonnie was on, but have watched poll perception since, you may have heard us refer to something as the queen bee rule, meaning you can guess that the person guessing the number on poll perception is exactly right. We hadn't even considered that as an option. Bonnie came on, asked if she could do that, and we named a rule after her. So Bonnie, you have gone down in Front Yard Fantasy history. You're the only guest to have a rule named after them on the show.
I'm a trendsetter. I like that.
Guys, we got some people in the chat ready for Fantasy Jeopardy today. Craig says, are we getting a throwback show today where half of it is Josh's news? I missed those shows. And Craig, you might be in for a treat. We might be getting some news in just a second.
It's not going to be half the show, but
it'll be
a lot of news.
Three-quarters.
Three-quarters of the show, probably.
We got Sully in here saying, happy Tuesday, FYF fam. Crazy day so far. Yeah, it has been an absolutely crazy day.
Nuts.
And Feiji said, well, hello there on a crazy day of NFL. Let's make a deal. Yeah, it has been a bit game showy on here. Albert, what's up? Welcome in. Good afternoon.
Albert.
And you know what? People are already going in here and saying the news. So, Josh, I think this is the perfect time. Before we hit anything else, just run us through the news of what happened.
All right. So, listen, there was a Broncos and a Seahawks trade. I couldn't fit it all in one banner. So, I made it simple for you guys. The Broncos, they get Russell Wilson, a 4th-round pick. Good for them. Great job, Broncos.
Beautiful.
The Seahawks, they get Drew Locke, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. So this is a giant trade ending with really just the Broncos ending up with Russell Wilson. I know Noah Fant's disappointed. But guys, do you think Drew Locke might be the starter for the Seahawks next year? Like maybe, I guess at this point, right?
I hope not.
I hope so, actually, for the Seahawks. Because if they go in, I think they should be in full rebuild mode right now, right? Like if they go and waste draft capital picks on signing some big name quarterback, it's not going to get them to a Super Bowl. They're multiple pieces away from that. I hope they just let Drew Locke start. Next season's a lost season, and then go try and get their guy. Fine, whether it's in the draft. Yeah, but I don't think there's an answer in this draft. I don't think Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral's the answer. Just don't use that pick on a quarterback. Start building up in other places, build up that O-line, and then plug in a quarterback. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I really hope Drew Locke is the starter for the Seahawks' sake. That would be so stupid to make a move like this and then just go try to plug in some other superstar.
I think it helps with Sean Penny, don't you?
Say that again.
I think it would help with Sean Penny maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it absolutely could, though. The only other thing there is we see with like quarterbacks that do run, not that Russell Wilson is a run-first quarterback, but he can scramble, that it generally helps the running back. But yeah, they could rely more on the running game. It could be an uptick in volume for the backs there, whether it's Carson or Penny. I agree with that, Bonnie.
Yeah, so, but on the other side of the card, the Seahawks look like they're going to be a mess for a little while now. I want to see what Pete Carroll's going to do because he's actually one of the oldest coaches in the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see how he feels about this, going into a rebuild, typically being one of the best teams in the NFL. That's a question. Metcalf and Lockett, how far do they fall in rankings? Pretty far. Lockett, Dynasty rankings, he's plummeting down my Dynasty rankings. Plummeting. Metcalf, I mean, he's already going to be like 30. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm sorry. I was going to say I already saw a trade. Somebody traded away Metcalf for.
I'm interested.
Yeah. That's the running back for the Browns.
Chubb.
Chubb,
Kareem Hunt?
thank you, Rick. For some reason, I blanked out. Yeah.
Like straight up Chubb for Metcalf?
No, I think there was a pick involved too, but
Okay.
it happened almost immediately after the news came down. So.
Yeah. Lockett, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. He is on that bigger contract, but I'm not excited. He's old. He's older, and he's now on a pretty bad rebuild team. So I don't think it's looking up for him. Metcalf, I don't think it matters as much. And Fagey, I was just about to bring this up. Should a team trade for Tyler Lockett now? It's my opinion, absolutely not. Out of all the players impacted by this trade
I
here,
think
I'm
Fagey is asking, should an NFL team trade for Tyler Lockett now?
Gotcha.
Which would make a ton of sense for the Seahawks and a wide receiver needy team. This is a team that looks like they're blowing things up. Absolutely try to trade Tyler Lockett if you are the Seahawks. And then
Again.
for redraft, I might have some interest in Tyler Lockett next year if he's in a decent situation. If he goes to the Browns, I think it could be all right over there. Know what I mean? But they just signed David Njoku or put him on and Austin Hooper. Like,
Browns,
I don't think they got room for it.
You might as well just pair him with Drew Lock at that point and see what happens.
I know you're trying to get a rise out of me. I'm not buying
I am.
And then Matt,
there is something to say. It's a run first team, right?
Yeah.
So
the Browns, yeah. No, you're good. Matt asking, is Alberto a must-add waiver wire guy in Dynasty? I got the number 1 spot. What do you think, Bonnie?
I don't. Well, they did trade away Noah Fant.
Are you excited for Alberto?
I have a little pause because Aaron Rodgers doesn't use his tight ends very much.
For Russell
with the
Wilson.
exception of Jimmy Graham that one year. I don't know. I don't know who else is who would else be on the waiver wire. So, yeah, probably depending on your league size.
Yeah, I know a lot. I know a lot of people are excited about Alberto in the Twitterverse, in the community. I still have tempered expectations. There's still going to be a lot of targets there, a lot of competition in the receiving room there in Denver. But I'm excited. I think you do have to add him off the waiver wire. I think you absolutely have to add him. But I'm not expecting like 100% this massive jump up for him.
Josh, do we have some more news outside of this big trade?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, in a deep league, add Alberto. Why not? The upside's through the roof. But let's keep moving. Guess what? There were a couple other things that happened today, like the Packers signing Aaron Rodgers to a 4-year, $200 million contract. Good for them. They played let's make a deal, and I think they played it right this time. They didn't take the what's behind the curtain number 2 here, and they took what they had in front of them, and it's quality. It's more than quality. It's Aaron freaking Rodgers. So let's go.
I'm sorry. I just blanked out for a minute. It's Russell Wilson who went to Denver. So
yeah,
that actually might help out Albert O because Russell Wilson loves his tight ends.
Well, so when you said with Jimmy Graham, so he was actually, I think they both played with Jimmy Graham, so it still made sense.
Yeah. Sorry, I said I the two trades happening almost simultaneously.
Oh yeah.
Well, actually, but yeah. That could be a reason to add Alberto because Wilson definitely depends on his tight ends. So.
Yep. And then related to that news, Josh, I know we were talking about this right before we came in and saying it hadn't happened officially yet, but it's related to the Aaron Rodgers news. So congratulations to everyone that got such a discount on Devontae Adams in startup drafts so far this offseason, because he's probably going to get knocked right back up those rankings with this deal in place.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to cover here, but it officially happened. Let's go, guys.
Yes.
Now this is a little interesting tidbit that I saw. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel's Tom Silverstein said that the Packers have no choice but to trade Jordan Love after re-signing Aaron Rodgers to a 4-year deal. There was various reasons why it went into it, but essentially with this 4-year deal, they're never even going to get to utilize Jordan Love in any way. So you got to get something for him at this point, right? I would agree with this. I think they have to trade him pretty much.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Josh.
We'll see what they do.
All right, we'll keep moving here. The Los Angeles Chargers have re-signed Mike Williams to a 3-year, $60 million deal. Personally, I think this is probably one of the better case scenarios for him outside of him being the dominant one for some team.
Yep.
Bonnie,
Yeah.
you excited about this? You excited to see Mike Williams back in LA with Justin Herbert?
Definitely, for sure. I mean, it hurts Josh Palmer for everybody who has him, but Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and it's just going to be very fantasy friendly for them. So yeah, I like the move a lot.
Think about Josh Palmer yet. That kills Josh Palmer for a lot of people.
I know.
A lot of people were really high on him. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that yet. But Mike Williams, he'll be with the Chargers for probably about 3 more years now. The Jaguars franchise tagged Cam Robinson, their left tackle. The Dolphins franchise tagged Mike Gesicki. The Cowboys franchise tagged Dalton Schultz. So a lot of franchise tags, a lot of stuff going on today, guys. And the Cowboys actually restructured the contracts for Dak Prescott and Zach Martin, creating $22 million in salary cap space. They're also talking about possibly releasing Amari Cooper and possibly re-signing Gallup. So a lot of stuff going on with Cowboys right now. The Lions re-signed Josh Reynolds to a 2-year contract. And the last thing I have here is just some talk, very interesting talk coming out of the Panthers, Carolina there. Panthers that said they would consider trading Christian McCaffrey for a first-round pick and another player without a big salary cap number, essentially. So the Panthers look like they are open to trading Christian McCaffrey.
Like Jordan Love?
I guess he does fall into that category.
You throw a first-round pick for Jordan Love?
I'm just throwing conspiracies out there now, but like that might make sense, right? Get another QB in there, competition with Sam Darnold, but I'm not sure that would be enough to get Christian McCaffrey from them over there. Guys, before we get into Josh, was that it for the news today?
Yes.
Before we get into our game for today, a couple things. Number one, if you are not already following our guest Bonnie over on Twitter, please do that right now. She's on Twitter at Fantasy Queen Bee and is a phenomenal follow. So make sure you guys go follow her right there. She's pointing at it on the screen. After you follow her, guys, if you're already watching this video, that means you are on our YouTube or Twitch channels. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. If you are on YouTube, make sure you smash that like and then subscribe to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy. And if you hit that little bell, it'll tell you when we're live every day. You'll never miss another one. Guys, we got a bunch of questions in here and comments to go through. So let's hit some of these real quick, and then we will start our game of fantasy football Jeopardy. Feiji wants to say Calvin Ridley suspension too strong. I'll give my opinion on it first. I understand why there has to be punishment for an NFL player gambling on NFL games. I fully agree with that. Like, he can't not be punished. I know he knew the rules before he did it, but that doesn't mean that the NFL's suspension system and range of games, that everything's fair, right? Like, I think this is maybe a bit of an overreaction by the league. And I think in the past they've had underreactions, but when we're talking about whether or not like he should have gotten suspended for this, it is independent of other suspensions that we've seen before. He had to get suspended. Now, a full year, we can debate whether that's right or not, but he had to get suspended getting caught doing something like that. What do you guys think?
The NFL is at risk with gambling and involving that with the NFL. Like you said, Simon, I'm not going to correlate it with other suspensions that have happened, but they had to come out him strong because the entire NFL and the reputation, what's the word I'm looking for? The integrity of the NFL is at risk with players gambling and having knowledge or anything like that. So,
and a lot of money.
Who was
they can't let this slide by. No. They got to make sure that this never happens. Never.
Who was the Sharks player this year? NHL. There was Evander Kane was gambling on games that he was playing in and got 3/4 of a season in the NHL. The leagues, as sports betting becomes more common and they start profiting off of it, are going to have to be really careful about that relationship. So I understand why they went that way, but man, it does seem strong. Like if you're looking at it compared to other suspensions we've seen, it seems insane. Ravens football in here said, I was so happy when I heard about the trade because I have way too much of Fant on their dynasty teams. Then I just read the full trade and almost cried. Thanks, guys. Oops. Yeah, that was my fear with Terry McLaurin. I was afraid that Russ was going to go to the Commanders and then Terry McLaurin was going to end up on the Seahawks, and I was going to be so sad. But thanks for taking that one for me, Ravens football. JR in here saying, oh, sorry, go ahead, JL.
I was saying I was like holding off commenting until we got the details on that contract because I was like, I know I'm not going to be like, oh, Judy is this is great for Judy, and then Judy's traded. It's like, damn it.
Also, JR in here saying, have a good show, guys. I'm a high school golf coach for the next few months. What do you think about my tons of Albert O shares? So we talked about Albert O a little bit, but definitely up. I don't know how much or if they're going to draft a tight end. They could go and draft someone this year, but he should be
let's just
involved.
put it this way. Alberto is on a lot of Dynasty waiver wires right now, and he'll be on pretty much relatively zero after today, I bet. So, yeah, his stock went up.
Also, Mr. Scampers and Sully reminding us that that Rodgers is saying that the compensation is not finalized and the numbers we're seeing aren't accurate. It'll be a big contract. We don't know exactly what it is, but it's going to be big. And then also, Kaysen in here sharing some news with us says, guys, you don't have to, but one of his friends died in a car crash yesterday, and there's a GoFundMe for their family. So, first of all, Kaysen, our thoughts and prayers over to you. Really sorry to hear that. Can't imagine what you're struggling with today. But if you post that link in there, yeah. If you post the link in the chat, Kaysen, we'd be really appreciative, and maybe some others in the chat would contribute as well. But thank you for sharing that, Kaysen. I'm sorry you're going through that. I know that's very tough. Guys, before we get started with today's game, I need to explain to you how this is going to work. We are playing Fantasy Football Jeopardy today. We brought Bonnie on to play with us. And Bonnie, you are going to be going first. JL is going to be going second. And Josh is going to be going third in today's game. How this game is going to work is it's a lot like regular Jeopardy with a couple small changes. Number one, most of the questions are NFL or fantasy related, and most of them are multiple choice. You will pick your question from the board. Whenever asked, you will give me an answer. If you are correct, you will get that money added to your bankroll. If you are incorrect, nothing happens. You don't lose money. We will go through the board until all of the questions are gone or we run out of time. There are a couple other small changes, though. Number one, if you get your question right. So, Bonnie, let's say you get your very first question right. You will then get to pick the category that JL has to answer a question from. So you get to pick the category of the person who goes after you. There is no buzzing in. We go in turn order. So Bonnie gets her question right and decides JL's bad at name that player. She can send JL straight to that category. He will still get to pick his dollar amount over there, though. In Final Jeopardy, guys, you will be wagering the money that you earned throughout the game. This is the one question where you can lose money. You can wager anywhere from zero to the full amount that you have earned. If you get it right, you'll add that to your total. If you get it wrong, it will be subtracted from your total. And the person with the most money at the end of our game is our Fantasy Football Jeopardy champion on this Tuesday. And I guess one other reminder, the 100s are mostly very easy. And the 500s are mostly very difficult. So just keep that in mind. It ranges in between whenever you're selecting your question. Are you guys ready?
No, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Let's do this. Swamp said he's at work, but Russ, yeah, it's all about Russ today. Bonnie, you ready?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
I caught her with the coffee cup in your mouth. That was bad timing on my part. Let's do this right here. JL, I see you put a poll in the chat. Swamp said, always vote Jeff. Who is leading our poll so far?
Bonnie is leading with 50% of the votes. Josh and I are split 25.
Okay. Fair enough.
Bonnie, the crowd thinks you're going to win it today. And you have the first question. And since you're going first, you get to pick whatever category and whatever dollar amount you would like. Oh, wait, let me run through the categories first so that you guys know what they are. Thank you for being a friend is all about NFL teammates. So it's about players that are on the same team together. East, I thought you said Weast. No, this is not about Patrick Star from SpongeBob. This is about teams in the AFC and NFC East. Grab bag could literally be anything. It could be sports related. It could be chemistry. It could be geography. It could be pop culture. It could be foreign languages. It can be whatever. Name that player. I'm going to give you a couple statements. They might be statistics. They might be things about a player. And then I'm going to give you some options. And you have to tell me which player I'm talking about. And then horseshoes and hand grenades, you know the saying, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Well, it also counts in this category. Josh, this is one of his favorites, and I stole it today. So I may say, how many receiving yards did Cooper Kupp have within 150? And you have to give me a number that falls within the range that I give you for that category. So, Bonnie, which category and question would you like? You can pick any category, any value amount.
I think I'll go with horseshoes and hand grenades for 200.
For 200. Horseshoes and hand grenades for 200. The first question of the game. Within 3, how many rushing touchdowns did Jalen Hurts have in the 2021 regular season?
Oh, Lord. I don't think this number was very high. I think he had less than everybody thought he would. Maybe.
You just have to be, you have to be within 3 on this one.
All right, I'm going to say 5.
5 from Bonnie. Final answer?
Final answer.
I am sorry, it was 10. Yeah. So from 7 to 13 would have been accepted there. But I think most people were on the same track as you with that under, that it was going to be a little bit lower. Lots of people with 7, which would have barely been in that range. Kaysen with 8, and then Sully, the only one getting it exactly right there. But Bonnie, I'm with you. I didn't remember him having 10 rushing touchdowns. I knew he ran a lot, but 10 seemed like a lot whenever I saw that. Unfortunately, Bonnie, that's going to add no points to your score, but there's a lot of game left. And JL, I think Bonnie was just giving you a head start. So you get to pick your own category and number here.
All right, so let's go with grab bag for 300.
Grab bag for 300. On which competition television show are losing contestants told to sashay away? Dancing with the Stars, Project Runway, America's Next Top Model, or RuPaul's Drag Race?
I don't know the answer to this question, but I do know who wrote the question, so I'm going to go with RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race is absolutely correct, JL. When a contestant loses in the lip sync battle, they are told to sashay away, and they leave.
I would have gotten that wrong.
Nice job, JL. You get 300 for your knowledge of RuPaul's Drag Race.
I definitely got that wrong.
And
really my knowledge of Simon.
Kaysen got it. Kaysen got RuPaul. Mr. Scamper said Guts. I don't think that was an option up there. And Jay said Legend of the Hidden Temple. You're right. It was a show I didn't even put as one of the answer choices.
And Sully put Pooh Raw. Pooh Raw's Drag Race.
Pooh Raw's Drag Race.
Yeah.
JL, you get to send Josh to his first category. Where is he going?
Josh, I just want to let you know, I just want to thank you for being my friend. And so I'm going to send you to thank you for being a friend.
That makes sense. That checks out. And real fast, before we get into the question, I just saw this a little bit ago. Just because he called me out by my first and last name, is Nikola Jokic the MVP again? No, it's Embiid. Okay. Let's go for 300 here.
300, and thank you for being a friend for Josh.
Uh-oh. Did Simon freeze or did I freeze?
No, yeah. At first, I was like, this always happens to me. So I just sat here like in the same spot like I always do. But no, it looks like it's the shoes on the other foot.
Okay, well, I guess we will. I don't know. Is that a saying? Shoes on another foot? I don't know.
Man, I wish there was like good stuff to talk about. Like,
yeah, there's any like recent news. Like, so it would have made it so much better. Simon's connection pooped out on us. He's frozen. He should be back, hopefully, if his internet comes back. But in the meantime, we could just chat. Are you enjoying all the news today, Bonnie?
I am, and I'm sorry about I mixed the news up in the beginning of the show because I'm a little nervous again.
Honestly, if you just told us that like you accidentally said Aaron Rodgers instead of Russell Wilson, it would have made sense still.
Well, that's basically what I did.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that, well, like if you just misspoke, like you like it was like everything you were saying, it kind of applied to both.
True, that's true too. But yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. My internet cut out entirely for a second. It just kept saying no internet right there, but we are back now. And Josh, this was your question before I rudely
it was
my internet people. Which
oh my God.
No, no. Well, can we go ahead and talk about the question?
He's back now. Man, is it? Are we just going to have this all week? We're just going to have technical issues. Sleeper broke down yesterday in the middle of our mock draft, and then Simon's internet has just decided to quit.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I set up a hotspot, so it may not be the strongest connection, but the hotspot is working now. So hopefully we won't have any more interruptions. Josh, for the third attempt, here is your question. Which AFC North team had 2 players with over 140 targets, 90 catches, and 1,000 receiving yards? Was it the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Why does everybody else get the easy question?
Hey, you're saying it's super easy. So, I mean, look, there's 2 teams that it could possibly be for me. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown with the Baltimore Ravens. And Mark Andrews definitely met all this criteria. Did Marquise Brown? I don't know if T. Higgins. Oh, man. Why am I? I'm gonna go. Did Marquise Brown have 1,000 yards?
Did he?
I'll go with Baltimore Ravens.
Final answer?
Yeah.
And Josh, you saw right through the trick. It was the Baltimore Ravens. It was not the Cincinnati Bengals. Neither Jamar Chase or T. Higgins had 140 targets, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Jamar Chase had 128 and T. Higgins had 110. So neither one of them actually met that criteria.
Am I seeing in the chat that no one said Ravens?
The chat all said Bengals,
Wow.
and the Bengies from Mr. Scampers. It was not the Bengies. So, Josh, you're
Wow.
going to add 300 to your score. You guys got the easy ones. Bonnie got the hard one. And now you get to pick Bonnie's next category, Joshua, since you got that one right. What category is Bonnie going to be answering from?
Oh, no, I'm going to be so nice. You know what? I think you are really going to like the name the player category. Name that player.
Bonnie, which dollar amount would you like over there?
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's do 300. See if I can catch up.
300. Trying to tie these two guys. Name that player. Wide receiver, 6th in total targets, 12th in total receptions, finished as the PPR wide receiver 18. So they were 6th in targets, 12th in receptions, and they finished as the wide receiver 18 in PPR. Which player is it? Mike Evans, DJ Moore, or Adam Thielen?
I know this one.
Can I buy a vowel?
You can do the Queen Bee rule and guess the exact percentage.
This player 100% has an M in their name.
That's not a vowel, Josh.
12 and 12.
How about this player 100% has an E in their name?
There you go. There's a vowel.
Well,
Nice
and
work,
an M.
Josh.
An E, an M.
An M
I
and an
think
E,
I'm-
100%.
I'm going to eliminate Mike Evans because I think he was very touchdown dependent this year. So that would be DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, 6 total targets. 12. I think Justin Jefferson might have taken away a lot of, although Adam Thielen had a pretty good year until he got hurt. I think I'm going to go with DJ Moore.
Final answer? It is
Finally.
DJ Moore. DJ Moore is correct,
Yeah.
Bonnie. You got it. DJ Moore was the right answer. JL, I knew if you got this one, it was going to be a gimme, but that for others, it might not be because you were touting all season how DJ Moore was one of the highest targeted players in the league, but it didn't necessarily translate to fantasy output because of the quarterback situation there. But Bonnie, nice work on that one. 300 points for you, tying you with these two losers. Where are you sending
You're a
JL? What
loser.
category would you like him
Simon,
to
not
answer the
Bonnie.
next category?
Let's do the West category.
Okay, JL, East. I thought you said West. Which dollar amount would you like?
I'll go with 200.
200 in East. I thought you said West for JL. Of the 8 teams in the NFC and AFC East, which 2 teams tied for the least number of wins with 4 each? Then I listed all of the NFC and AFC East teams for you. So there were 2 teams that had only 4 wins each. Which 2 teams were they?
Teams have the least number of wins. I'm gonna go with Jets and Giants.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct. It was the New York Jets and the New York Giants with 4 wins apiece.
MetLife
JL.
crew.
You were going to add 200 to your total
New York's
on
killing
that one. Yeah,
New York's,
absolutely
you're doing
killing
great.
it.
You're doing great.
How many wins did Miami have?
I know they at least had they were like on a 7-win streak at one point.
Was it? Okay.
But I don't know what they ended the season with. I can't remember.
More than 4. I think it was 9, but I'm not positive. JL, nice work on that one. You get to pick Josh's next column.
All right, let's send Josh to
I like all these categories. I
No,
love
you
them,
don't.
actually.
There's
I
one
like
you
them
don't
all.
like.
Love them all.
Let's send him to no, I don't want to hear you say that category name again. Let's send him to
I
grab
won't say
that.
it.
East.
Okay, Josh, grab bag. Which one would you like?
I'll just take the $200 one.
The $200 one in grab bag. What song, which was number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 since the week of January 30th, was just unseated by Heat Waves by Glass Animals? Was it Easy on Me by Adele? We Don't Talk About Bruno from the cast of Encanto? Ghost by Justin Bieber? Or Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo?
I know what I would guess.
So this is a song that was number 1 until this week.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't really know any of these songs.
No, don't listen to the radio.
but I'm trying to like. I'll just go with "Ghost" by Justin Bieber. I don't know. Let's go.
Final answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is We Don't Talk About Bruno. Bruno has been number 1 on the charts. Bonnie knows her Bruno. Jay in the chat knows his Bruno as well. But Bruno has been number 1 on the charts since January 30th and just got unseated.
Talk about him.
It is now number 2, right behind Heat Waves by
Do I know that
Animals.
Song? Like, should I know that song? Like,
if you listen to Heat Waves, recognize it.
I mean, we don't talk about Bruno.
If you watch Disney movies, then
I actually think I know Heat Waves.
I had to look it up before this, and I had heard it, but it was not that one. So, Josh, you got that one wrong. Bonnie said she knew that one, but because you got that wrong, Bonnie, you get to pick which category and question you want.
I think I'm going to try and grab bag for 400.
Grab bag for 400 for Bonnie. Your question is, which anime is the highest rated of all time by users on myanimelist.com? Is it Hunter x Hunter, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or Death Note?
That's tough, actually.
I was just looking at some of these lists, and I actually think I know the answer.
So, Bonnie, are you up to date on your anime list?
Anything about anime, but maybe I should just go with the one I've heard of.
What's it going to be?
I'm interested to see which one you
Full Metal Alchemist.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
And you are correct.
Nice.
Full Metal
That's the one I would have gone with.
Is the highest
the only one I heard of.
I would have thought Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop would have
higher
listed 2 I was between.
Yeah, between that and FMA Brotherhood. But I thought Hunter x Hunter was at the bottom. That's crazy.
Hunter x Hunter is the second of this list.
Hunter.
This is probably perfectly ordered for me. So
sorry for saying the X. My apologies. The first time I got the way reading.
Never mind.
You would flip. You would
Hunter
put
x
Cowboy Bebop, Hunter, then Full Metal, and then Death Note.
Bonnie, you said you knew nothing about anime, but you got that one right, adding 400 to your total and taking the lead. And you get to pick JL's next category. So where's JL going? Nice job, Albert. Sully said pass.
Pass.
Thank you for being a friend.
JL,
all right, I'll go with 400.
400, and thank you for being a friend.
I don't remember this.
Within 150 yards, how many combined rushing yards did Devin Singletary and Josh Allen have? Look at that trickaroo with the horseshoes and hand grenades questions about some teammates. Jay wrote this category just so everyone is aware. The thank you for being a friend category. Jay, thank you for being a friend and writing these questions. So, JL.
Devin Singletary. Let me just try and reason this out. Devin Singletary, I don't think
he did at least 5 yards.
He had at least 5. He had a good second half of the season, but he had a pretty rough start or middle. And so I don't think he reached 1,000. I'm going to go with 750.
I have a guess.
And then Josh Allen, how much did you run this year?
What did you put Devin Singletary at?
750.
Okay. Just one.
I don't know how much Josh Allen ran for. I'll go with 550. That's, I can't do math. 1,300.
Yeah.
JL, I did some logic, and you're not going to change your answer, right?
No, you can lock it in.
I did some logic, and I came up with 750 for Devin Singletary and 600 for Josh Allen myself.
Hey,
so, I 1350 would have been my comment.
All right. So, Joe, your final answer is 1,300.
Yeah.
Okay, and I Do not remember what the actual answer is, so we will find out if you are correct. It was 1,633, so I'm sorry you were outside of that range. I don't have the specific numbers for both of those players, but the combined total was 1,633 on this one. Looks like Sully was the only one in the range and was off by only like 27 yards.
And you got Jalen Hurts' exact rushing touchdown number, Sully. What's going on?
Or 17 yards. Sorry, that's my bad.
It's Sully like the all-time champion of front fantasy.
He
would like to think so. He would like to think he is.
Gosh, you have free reign of the board now. Where would you like to go?
Let's go for horseshoes for 300.
Horseshoes for 300 for Josh. Within 30. How many targets did Hunter Renfrow plus Jamar Chase have in the 2021 regular season?
Jamar Chase. Probably right about 100 targets. Hunter Renfrow probably about. He had more than 100 catches, right? So let's put him at like 145 ish.
Also, I see some answers in the chat, guys. This is targets, not yards. So if you're guessing along, I guess maybe that could be an answer for targets, but then you're really overestimating one of these players.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 252.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. We had some guesses in the chat as well, but the correct answer here, Josh, is 256. You were only off by 4. Renfrow and Chase had the same exact number of targets with 128 apiece this season, bringing it to 256. So, Josh, nice job on that one. You're only 4 away getting that one right.
I was lower on Chase and higher on Renfrow. I'll take it.
It worked. Jay said 250, Albert with 245, Kaysen with 247. A bunch of people would have been in that range. Mr. Scambers with 280. Nice job on that one. And just an update on the last one. Singletary had 870 rushing yards. Allen had 763 was how we got to that number.
Definitely higher than I thought.
So, Josh, that brings you to 600 ahead of JL, and you get to pick Bonnie's next category.
Hey, Bonnie, you know what? You were vibing with the grab bag. Why don't you just head right back over there?
So, Bonnie, do you want the 100 or the 500 question in the grab bag?
Oh, gosh. Is it going to be about anime again?
No more
Probably
anime.
not.
I can promise you no more anime.
Is it going to be about male strippers?
Yes.
Is that a good or a bad category for you? I guess.
100 for 500.
500. And you know what, Bonnie? I like that decision because even if you get it wrong, you know what you're doing. You're playing some defense against these guys taking that question as well. So, Bonnie, here's my question for you. Of the top 10 most watched television broadcasts in U.S. history, 8 of them are Super Bowls. Which one of these non-Super Bowl broadcasts is in the top 10? Was it the police pursuit of O.J. Simpson, Leon Spinks versus Muhammad Ali 2, or the Richard Nixon resignation speech? So only one of these is in the top 10 most watched broadcasts of all time in the U.S.
That's interesting.
Which one is it?
Go with
Nixon hasn't.
I didn't watch any of these.
No.
You know, this is a fantasy football podcast, and we've got O.J. Simpson sitting there. I'm going with O.J.
O.J., that's your
answer. Everybody watched that white truck go, whatever it was, SUV going down the highway, I think.
It seems like the entire chat agrees with you. OJ.
Probably wouldn't have gone with it simply because I could see it being the right answer. Just simply because it wasn't like announced beforehand. Like it's like you just had to catch it, right?
There weren't promos.
So
Let's see.
I could see it still being there.
The answer is the Richard Nixon resignation speech with 110 million viewers. O.J. Simpson was next on the list outside of the top 10, but with 95 million viewers. And Leon Spinks versus Muhammad Ali was 90 million. The most watched
Everyone
broadcast.
In the chat went with O.J.
Every single person in the chat went with O.J. There was the number one broadcast of all time is actually a non-Super Bowl, and it is the moon landing is the number one broadcast of all time. It had the most people watching. The moon landing.
Okay.
Them landing on the moon is the top watched broadcast, but I didn't put that one in there. Put the other ones in there.
I would have gone with Spinks and Ali myself, but obviously would have been wrong.
Well, JL, looks like people are shocked about that one, but JL, you get to pick your own category here and maybe a chance to catch up with Bonnie. She's in the lead.
I do have a chance. I just 200 difference. I think I can do that. I'll try my best here. I'll go with name that player for 400, please.
Name that player for 400 for JL. Quarterback, played in exactly 12 games, had 5 rushing touchdowns, was not the week 1 starter in 2021. Was it Taysom Hill, Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, or Tyrod Taylor?
Ooh, that is interesting. Okay. 5 rushing touchdowns, not the week 1 starter, so we can rule out Sam Darnold and Tyrod Taylor. So Cam Newton or Taysom Hill, 5 rushing touchdowns, played in exactly 10 games. I don't think Cam
12 games.
Played 12 games, sorry. I'll go with Taysom Hill. I don't think Cam played in 12 games. Oh, it seems like low rushing touchdowns, but Taysom Hill, final answer.
You're saying Taysom Hill. And the answer is Taysom Hill, JL. That one was kind of tough, but you broke it down the exact perfect way. Taysom Hill, Cam Newton, and Sam Darnold all had 5 rushing touchdowns. Taysom Hill and Sam Darnold both played in exactly 12 games, but Sam Darnold was the week 1 starter, whereas Taysom Hill was not the week 1 starter, but also had 5 rushing touchdowns. Tyrod Taylor did not have 5 rushing touchdowns. And
I wonder how many games Cam played in.
8. He played in
12. Okay.
8. He played in 8 games this season. But nice job, JL. That one was kind of tough, but you got it. And you get to pick Josh's next category.
Josh really told me that he wants to do East category.
Yeah, I do.
Come on. I do like the questions in that one. So if you guys could pick some more of them.
Yeah, I mean, give me the $400 question.
400 for Joshua.
Yeah.
Of the 8 teams in the NFC and AFC East, which team made the most
field
goals during the regular season?
Please.
So which of these teams made the most field goals during the regular season?
I don't know.
Yeah, this maybe should have been the 500.
Okay. Okay. Look, I'm gonna break. I got this. Like, just get out of here, Washington football team. Get out of here, New Yorks. You guys didn't score enough.
As a plural.
Like, just get out of here, New Yorks. I could see the Eagles being there. The Patriots, I definitely could see them being there. You know, they had a very good defense, an offense that like wasn't scoring a lot of touchdowns, but they scored a ton of points. The Bills, they were just scoring touchdowns like maniacs. The Dolphins, I could see the Dolphins being it too. They were, but like their offense wasn't driving as much as the Patriots. The Cowboys, touchdowns again. I'm going with the Patriots.
Final answer?
Yes.
And Josh, you acted like this one was too tough, and then you logicked your way right to the correct answer. The Patriots were in first with 36, and I put the second place team there just for a little bit of context. Of these 8 teams, the Eagles were second with 30, but nice job on that one, Josh. And the people in the chat had that one down pat. Albert with Patriots, Mark with Patriots, Feiji with Patriots, and Sully even naming the top 2 teams with Eagles and Pats. Wrong order right there.
Scott guessed the entire division.
Guys, yeah. I purposely added the line at the top that says of the 8 teams in the NFC and AFC East, which team? I purposefully changed the word in here to make it
doesn't matter
obvious.
What the wording is. There's every time this category comes up, there's so many words. I just immediately tune it out.
Well, that's on you, not on me. You guys should.
It's gonna probably not really be helpful, like with this kind of game. But yeah, that's just me.
So, Josh, you get to pick Bonnie's next category.
Bonnie, where do you want to go? I'm feeling friendly.
How about horseshoes and hand grenades?
All right, you can go to now. I'm joking. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Go ahead.
Which question would you like, Bonnie? 100, 400, or 500?
Let's try 400.
400 for Bonnie. The Baltimore Ravens ran the most offensive plays in the NFL last season with 1,185. Within 50, how many plays did the Seattle Seahawks run?
Oh, Lord.
And just so you guys are aware, offensive plays, it refers to, from this stat, it's rush plays, pass plays, and quarterback sacks. So if a quarterback is sacked, it also counts as an offensive play. So that's the definition of offensive play.
Can I find a friend?
if they're in your
hey, it's less than 1,185.
Yeah, you know that for sure.
Yeah, I'll write down a guess. I got a good guess, I think.
What are you thinking, Bonnie?
50. Wait a minute. Let me do some math here.
Some real quick math. I see some people guessing in the chat, a little all over the place from the chat.
Yeah, this is a tough
Not
one.
a good sign. Not great, Bob.
Also, Kaysen, be careful. If you start posting too much stuff like that, we'll accidentally block you from the chat.
But I don't have the chat up, so.
Oh no, Kaysen is copying the bots that come into our chat and post random messages.
Oh wait, I'm missing them. Let me rewind. Let's see.
You got an answer there, Bonnie?
I'm thinking. Have to be within 50.
Yep, in either direction. So you got a 100-point range here that you could be within. Plus or minus 50. I guess that's a 101-point range, right? Because it includes the one in the middle.
Let's say 845.
845, final answer?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's
that
see.
Sounds like a great guess to me.
The correct
Fantastic
answer
guess.
is 954. So you were close, Bonnie. You were close, but they were the last in the league with the number of plays ran this year. Seahawks were dead last with 954. But Bonnie,
my guess was under Bonnie's.
We had some people in the chat get really close on that one. Nice job, guys, getting that one. But JL, that means you get to pick your next category.
All right. Let's go with oh God, there's only big or little, except for the one category that has exactly in the middle that I don't want to do. I'm gonna go with name that player for 500.
Name that player for 500. Wide receiver, weeks 1 through 5 points per game, 20.72. Weeks 6 through 18 points per game, 11.15. Was this player Marquise Brown, DK Metcalf, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, or Tyreek Hill?
Oh gosh. Okay. It feels like that was exactly Mike Williams's run. This is the weeks 1 through 5. And then he started being injured or something and they just stopped targeting him. But I feel like he had a higher points per game. This is PPR, right?
PPR. Yep.
I guess I'll go with Mike Williams. Could be
final
Marquise
answer.
Brown. Yeah.
It was Marquise Brown. JL, you were exactly right when you said that. They had very similar seasons. Mike Williams was just elevated up a notch. His points per game in both sections were higher. The week 6 through 18 was very close. It was like 8.3, but then he was closer to 24 points per game in weeks 1 through 5 right there.
Makes
the number
sense.
2 overall wide receiver in that span. Marquise Brown.
That's
was
exactly
number 6.
kind of what I was thinking. I was between Mike Williams and Marquise Brown. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, I feel like Mike Williams had even less than 11 points per game, like at the end of the season.
Kind of felt like that. He did kind of turn it on randomly.
Yeah, he did.
He had some big games. I think probably
like one or two,
like
around 20 points.
I was surprised by how high both of those players' weeks 6 through 18 points per game was, because I don't they had just had a couple games over 20 or in the 30s, but a lot of like 3s and 7s and not like some really low scores in that time frame. Some people in the chat got that one right. Some Marquise Browns, Mark going Marquise or Mike. That one was definitely tricky, but that's because it was a $500 question right there. So Josh, you get to pick your next question and you currently have the lead. We probably have time for one more round if we go through it fast.
All right. Thank you for being a friend for 500.
Thank you for being a friend for 500. Josh, which team had 3 players with 70 or more catches? The Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Chargers, the San Francisco 49ers, the Denver Broncos, or the Minnesota Vikings?
Probably the Chargers. Vikings probably didn't have it. The Broncos definitely. 49ers. No, the lines are a little interesting here, where it's like maybe they like somehow like all got together, but I'm gonna go with Chargers.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Josh, you are correct with the Chargers. Eckler, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen all had over 70 catches. That's going to add 500 to your total right there.
Ooh.
And we are moving on to the next question. You get to pick Bonnie's category, Josh. Where's Bonnie going?
Bonnie, East. I thought you said West. That's you.
Bonnie, do you want the 100, the 300, or the 500?
We had the 300.
300 for Bonnie on that one. Of the 8 teams in the NFC and AFC East, which team had the most regular season wins? So of these 8 teams, I just need to know which one won the most games. What are you thinking, Bonnie?
I'm thinking it's between the Cowboys and the Bills, I think. I'm trying to think of their records.
One.
No. We go. Let's see. Wasn't the Giants for sure. Wasn't Washington. Wasn't Patriots. Wasn't the Jets. I think I'm going to go with the Bills. I think Dallas started losing a few games that they should have won.
Final answer?
It seems to be too obvious, though. But, yeah, I guess I'll go with the Bills.
Bills, final answer. I'm sorry. It was the Dallas Cowboys with 12.
I would have gone Bills as well.
The Bills had 11, and the Cowboys had 12.
I was as close as
I would have
that
gone
one was
Bills
tricky.
as well.
That one was definitely tricky right there. The Cowboys were sneaky on that one. JL, you get to pick your next category. Where do you want to go?
Can we play poll perception? I'm better at
Hey, this game's not over yet.
It's not over because it's Final Jeopardy can change it entirely.
All right, I'll go with horseshoes and hand grenades for 500. Try and catch up to Josh here.
Horseshoes and hand grenades for 500 from JL. Here's your question. Within 50, how many PPR fantasy points does Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders have combined?
So this question is basically how many fantasy points did Diggs have this year?
Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley both had interesting runs.
I know, I'm kidding. At the end, they just petered out so bad.
Let's see, 17 games. Cole Beasley, 17 games. Cole Beasley was probably at I have no idea how to figure out his average points per game. I'll go with I'll just go with. I know Diggs had to have 100 something. I'll just go with 220.
Combined PPR fantasy points. JL,
Sure.
is that your final answer? 220?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was 576.5, JL. Both of those guys had in the 150 range. Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders with Stephon Diggs much higher than that. Yeah, you were significantly too low on that one. But, Josh, that's coming back to you. And you get to pick your category and could really run away with it here. Where would you
give me grab bag 100? I want this grab bag question. Give it to me.
What is a baby goat called? A joey, a porky pet, or a kid?
That's a joey, dude. That's a joey.
Final answer?
Actually, Joey is Joey. Yeah, go with Joey.
It is a kid. A joey is a baby kangaroo. A porky pet is a baby porcupine, and a kid is a baby goat.
If it was porky pet, I would have been shocked. That would have just rocked my entire world.
I was looking up baby animal names today and saw porky pet, and I was like, I have to put that in there because that's an incredible name right there. So, Josh, unfortunately, that does not add 100 to your total, and it is time to move into the Final Jeopardy question. Josh, you have 1,500. JL, you have 900. Bonnie, you have 700. I'm going to give you the category, and I need you guys to write down your wager. So anywhere from 0 to the number you have. The category is individual player statistics. Individual player statistics.
I don't think I've ever actually been in the lead. Going into Final Jeopardy before.
So he said, good Lord, I loathe that category. Does not like the grab bag.
One
Wait a
second,
minute.
guys.
Changing my mind. All right.
Okay, you guys have your wagers written down?
Yeah.
If you guys could show me your wagers real quick.
$5.99.
Josh wagering $5.99. JL wagering 900. And Bonnie, does that say 500?
Yes. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. Yeah,
Bonnie
it's 500.
500 and JL
It
wagering
doesn't like it.
all of his money at $900. Okay, guys, your final question. Oh, it just deleted. Sorry. I'll just read it to you out loud. I accidentally deleted the banner. But who had the most rushing yards during the 2021 regular season? Who had the most rushing yards during the 2021 regular season? Was it James Robinson, Michael Carter, or Ramondre Stevenson?
2021.
Yeah, I'm typing it back out right now. I accidentally deleted it.
James Conner.
Yes.
Oh, in the regular season.
Who are the three?
It was
Connor.
James Robinson. Sorry if I said Connor. I meant James Robinson.
Oh.
James Robinson, Michael Carter, and
And you said Russian.
Ramondre Stevenson.
James Robinson. Okay.
Let me know when you guys have your answers in there.
I got mine.
Josh, do you have yours?
Yes.
I got
Dale,
mine.
do you have yours?
Yep.
Okay. Would you guys like to reveal your answers? James Robinson from Josh. James Robinson from JL. And Stevenson from Bonnie on that one.
Stinker, Josh. You stinky
Okay.
stink butt.
So if it is Stevenson with Josh's guess, I think Bonnie might win, but let's see. The correct answer, guys, with 767 rushing yards, James Robinson is the correct answer to this question, even with only 14 games played.
Let's
Ramondre
go.
Stevenson had
Yeah.
606 and Michael Carter had 639. So Josh, you are going
Nice
to be
job.
today's Fantasy Jeopardy champion. Nice job on that one. And Bonnie, thank you so much for coming on and playing Fantasy Jeopardy with us today. You showed not only are you a fantasy expert, but apparently an anime expert as well. But thank you so much, guys. Bonnie, it's always a pleasure streaming with you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
everybody watch.
You all have.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and everybody watching, if you don't already follow our guest Bonnie on Twitter, go and follow her right now at Fantasy Queen B. Do it like this instant, immediately. But again, big thanks, Bonnie. This has been a ton of fun.
Thanks, guys. I had a ball as always.
Guys, that is going to be it for us this
I know,
afternoon.
Bam.
Said, Josh, I
He's
told
back.
you Aaron would be back, baby. Woohoo! And Bam, you know what? You did say it. We've been
Yeah.
telling you, maybe not, but you have been holding strong that it was going to happen. And congratulations on Aaron Rodgers re-signing with the Packers. Guys, that is going to be it for us this afternoon. We will be back tomorrow with some more fantasy football game show fun. So make sure to tune in then. Until tomorrow at 3 p.m., though, we are out of here. Adios, everybody.
Trading makes
Bye-bye.
fantasy fun. Hey.